Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use Rsync to create incremental backups on your Debian based operating system. So in this video I'll be assuming a few things about your knowledge regarding the Debian based operating system, the terminal, how it works, and assuming that you're able to connect via SSH. But hopefully this video will have enough information for you to take advantage of this awesome tool of Rsync, basically able to create snapshots, incremental backups. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's bring up a command prompt, and we're gonna connect to our via SSH to our Debian based operating system. So you do that by typing in just CMD here and hit enter. So once this command prompt is up, I'm going to try and make this a lot bigger so you can see it clearly. And as you can see, I have a few notes on the side. All right, that should be a good size right there. So SSH space pi at the IP address where you're connecting to, and pi is the username of your that ideally has root access or administrative privileges. So for best results, you hit enter. It's going to ask for the password. Go ahead and type that in. All right, excellent. So my hard drive is already connected to my system, but I'm going to find out, how do I know if it's actually reading my drive and it's seen the partition. So you do this by typing in sudo space fdisk space -L as in Lima. Okay, so you get a lot of information, but usually the information that's more important is towards the end. And you can see here that this Samsung SSD model is my main operating system. That's how it's configured now. So far so good. If I scroll down a little bit more, I think I see the Hitachi brand mechanical drive that I want to back up to. And it has multiple partitions, and this is the main partition that I want to back up to. It's a Linux. It's called like ext4, I believe, extension 4, I think it's called. So what's important here is this this label, this /dev for device, and then this cdb3. So let's try to navigate to that real quickly. But if you ever try and navigate it, you'll see that you're not able to. See, if I try to change directory, it says not directory. So I can't navigate to. I cannot navigate to this hard drive. So the way that Debian or Linux works in this occasion is that you have to mount that device as a folder in your operating system. So let's go ahead and show you how that works. And I'm going to go ahead and first give you just a quick overview of the root directory. So I'm going to do a cd for change directory /home, enter, and I'm going to do ls to list all the contents there. So you can see there's multiple directories, and we're going to focus on the mnt, which is, I'm assuming, short for mount. So let's go ahead and check out mount in there, do ls. So there's no folders, no files, and mount. That's okay. So we're going to actually create a directory there within mount. And once we create a directory, we're going to mount the device to that directory. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. So sudo mkdir, that's make directory / you don't have to include a /mount since we're already in the directory, but I'll go ahead and do it anyways. And let's call it, let's see, Dre's backup. How about that? That should do it. So make directory /mnt /Dre's backup, hit enter. So if I do ls, now you can see Dre's backup. Of course, if you do a change directory within it, and by the way, if you want to help you type faster, if you start typing in like the first 3 to 4 letters and you hit tab, it'll try to guess what you're trying to type in based on the context. So hit tab, it auto finishes for you. All right, ls, it's typical, it's empty. That's what we expected. So let's now use the mount command to attach the the sdb3 partition to that folder. So let's go ahead and do that. Sudo mount /dev /sdb3, and note that it might not be sdb3 for you. You might have to just double check what partition you're mounting it to. Space /mnt and what we call it, Dre's backup, right? And I'm not too sure if it needs a leading forward slash or now, or if it doesn't, I'll avoid it for now. But I think either way it's okay, with or without the ending slash. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter without it. Okay, excellent. So that should have done it. Let's go ahead and kind of back up one more time off the directory tree. And you could do that by doing cd space dash dash enter. And let's do ls. Okay, there is our directory. I mean, I should be empty. Maybe it might have something there, but okay, it's empty for now. That's okay though. That's excellent. So at this point, now we are ready to prepare our first backup to this directory we just created. So in order to do that, we kind of first have to prepare the rsync process. So I read some articles that you don't want to be backing up the whole file system of your Debian based operating system. You want to avoid backing up some key folders, and I wrote those folders down here in this little notepad. See, so the folders like dev, proc, sys, and if we actually go back to root real quickly and do a little comparison, you can see that there's various them. So devices, proc, temp folder, run, mnt. So especially the mnt folder you want to avoid backing up itself, because you don't want to back up the backup. So because if you include that, it'll try to back up what's already being backed up. So that makes sense. So you want to avoid that. So how you do that? You create like a list of things you want to avoid backing up. So let's store that list actually. Let's go ahead and store that list into, it could be really any folder, but I'm going to store it within the home directory of my Raspberry Pi. So if I navigate here to documents, there it is. Right now documents is empty. So let's go ahead and create that text file. So I'm going to do a sudo nano, and I'm going to create the little text file. So I'm going to say exclude-list.txt. No spaces, just like that. And I'm going to hit enter. So it's an empty text file right now. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste all these standard directories and things you want to avoid. The only thing that's optional, I feel, here is the downloads folder. You could choose to include it or not, but I'm going to go ahead and include it. So let's go ahead and put in that, hit paste. That's looking good. And to save and exit, you do a control on your keyboard X, and it says do you want to save it. You hit Y for yes, and you hit enter one more time. Okay, so you do ls to confirm that your text file is there, right? And you want to go ahead and just kind of verify that the list is there. So that's pretty easy to do. You could do a sudo cat cat, right, space, and the exclude list. Once again, I'm going to use tab to help me type. And there it is. Excellent. We got the list going. So this text file is going to be important in our rsync command. So I think we're ready to do our first backup now. So I'm going to bring up some of my notes here to help me out. Let's make this a little bit bigger, just in case it helps you guys as well. And let's go ahead and start typing in this command. So what we want to do is do a sudo rsync, sudo space rsync space -av. So A is for archive and V is for verbose. That means like you want to see all the action being done. And we're going to do, after the space, we're going to do a hyphen exclude, and then -from equals, and then in single quotation, right, a single quotation mark, we're going to go ahead and tell it where our exclude list is located at. So that's in home /pi/ what we say, documents, right? And then we want to include this exclude list. There you go. And then in the end quotation mark or single quotes. So far so good. We want to tell the rsync not to back up the specific directories here. So after that, we do a space. So what we want to back up? The whole thing, the whole Debian system minus, of course, whatever was on the list. So you do that with a slash and a asterisk or a dollar, not dollar sign, an asterisk, a little star, space. Okay, so where do you want to back up to? Of course, we want to back up to our folder, our external drive. Sorry about that. And you do that with a slash. What was that? MNT for mount, right? And then it was under mount we had what? Dre's backup. Yeah, there you go. Dre's backup. So Dre's backup right now was empty. And in order for us to create our first backup, here's what I like to do. I like to give it a certain name, actually, a naming convention. So I like to give it, for example, backup number one, the number sign. I put in like today's date, 12/17/2023, and I put the time frame, and then I'll put around 7:45. So I put capital T time. This doesn't have to be exact. This is just an example. PM. So that's the naming convention I like to put in when creating our backup. Now after this, I'm gonna put space hyphen dry run. So just to get an idea if I get any errors. So it's gonna do a dummy run. So think of dry run as a dummy run. You hit enter. As you can see here, it's backing up the data. So far so good. It looks good, honestly, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. You could do this with the Control-Z. Now, before I commit to this backup, I want to create my own little log list, if that makes sense. I wanted to give an idea what this backup is for. So I want to actually store that log list in the external drive itself. So let's go ahead and navigate real quickly to the external drive first. So let's do a CD to the mount to Dre's backup, do ls, right? It's empty right now, but I'm going to do a sudo nano command now for the text editor. Nano's a text editor, and I'm going to do a, let's see here, I'm going to call it Dre's backup-log.txt. Altogether, no spaces. So a lot of hyphens here. So hit enter, it's empty, right? And then in this case, I'm going to put, let's see here, Dre's backup log, and I'm going to put like a couple spaces there and put number one. I'm saying this is my first backup. And I like to put in like the date, of course, 17/2023, time frame 7:45 p.m. There you go. And then you can even put in like a little bit more context, like let's say the system was working well, all good, something like that, just to give a context how maybe why you backed it up or the status of the system. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out and do a Control X to exit, and then it says I want to save it. Yes, I do, with a Y. Hit enter one more time, and then if I do a sudo cat and then put in the same name, Dre's, I hit tab right to auto-complete it. It'll give me an idea what my text file says. So that's excellent. Now we create a log. Now we're ready to do the backup. So if you use the arrow keys up and down, it remembers the last commands you type in. So you could go up a few times, and one of them is the ones that we enter, right? So all you have to do is backspace and get rid of the dry run part of it. And once you do, doesn't matter if it's extra spaces there right now, we're good to go. So we got 7:45 p.m. the location. Excellent. Let's go ahead and start this backup. Okay, so it started backing up everything in the operating system, of course, excluding everything in the exclude list here. All right, excellent. And by the way, if you wanted to add something, like for example, on my other system, I have a location called Dr. Dre's servers, and then maybe put like a frigid MVR / recordings or something like that, / like that. So that's, you want to add that. Maybe you don't want to be backing up those, or it takes too much space. All right, so that I'm gonna go ahead and let it be and continue to record until it's done, and very likely I'll fast forward till it's done. And then once it's completed, I'll be right back to continue and give a scenario and why we want to create a snapshot or a incremental backup and how to do that. All right, I'll see you guys later. Okay, thank you so much and welcome back. The first backup is now complete. So whenever Rsync completes, you get like a quick summary of what went down, some information. To be honest, that's hard for me to read, but trust me, it definitely finished and it definitely worked. So just for fun, let's go ahead and verify how this directory looks. We can see here that our first folder was created. We can even cd into it, change directory into it. C12, hit tab. There you go. See, it has that all the directory structure minus, of course, the directories that we excluded. So that's excellent. So let's go ahead and let's pretend like we're about to do a sudo apt-get update and upgrade, and we want to make sure we do a backup. Let's say we heard just being on the safe side, we don't want any updates breaking our system or breaking our system, preventing it from not booting up correctly. Okay, so there's a few packages available. See, there's Ghost script, libs, don't know exactly what they are as well, but I'm gonna say a no for now, and I'm gonna deny it. First, I want to do a incremental backup, and before we do this, so let's pretend we're making this incremental backup before we decide to do this upgrade via apt-get. So let's go ahead and first of all update our logs. So let's do a cd the period kind to back it up, and let's do a edit on our text file here using nano, and let's go ahead and put a number 2 here. So I'm going to say before doing apt-get update to update. I know there's a x or x server packages, something like that I saw, right? Okay, and then let's put the date. So 12/17/2023, and let's put in a new date. Let's put around 8:15 p.m. Okay, so excellent. So I gave a little context of why I created that incremental backup. So let's go ahead and exit out, a control X, and then Y yes, and hit enter to give it the same name. And just to be on the safe side, let's go ahead and do a cat this time and check out. And yep, it did update just fine. Excellent. So let's go ahead and start our incremental backup. Remember that we could use the arrow key to go up. And let's find our command that we use. All right, there it is. This is our command that we use. So let's modify it slightly now. And let's go ahead and change this to a 2 because this is our number 2 now. And then same date, and then let's change the time frame. What we say? We said 8:15, right? So 8:15 p.m. Excellent. So that's going to be our new destination, our new folder for our first incremental backup, or you can think of it as a snapshot. So I'm going to do space, and in order for the incremental backup to work, we're going to have to link our first backup we did. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's do a hyphen and link destination. Let's bring up the notes here real quickly. Make sure I'm doing it right. Yeah, there you go. So hyphen link destination. Let's go back here. Equals. Let's move this slightly here so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Link destination equals, and then where is this linked folder located at? Well, it's under, in this case it's under mount, under Dre's backup, and it's marked as a number 1 backup. There you go. Excellent. So that's our link destination, and we're gonna go ahead and do a space dry hyphen run, hyphen dry run. All right. So the cool thing is that it's only gonna back up what changed or what's needed, and anything that finds again the same, it won't back up. It'll just create a link, a virtual link to that folder. It's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and do the dry run first, just to get an idea. And let's see, number 2. Yep, it's staying great. All right, hit enter. Yeah, honestly, it shouldn't take that long to do. Because it's gonna do very little things. You know what? Before I see, it should be very brief. You can see that it updated since I did an app an app get update. It updated its distribution list, so it's pretty accurate. See how it did that, and anything else is just going to be a reference point, a virtual folder link to the rest of it. So it's great, saving us space on the hard drive. Media or space that we're backing up to. All right, so let's go ahead and just commit this time. I'm going to remove the dry run and I'm going to commit to this backup and make it happen. So I'm going to hit enter, and once it's completed, let's go ahead and I'll get right back to this rest of this tutorial, and I'm going to do the app get update upgrade. And I'm going to do one more incremental backup just to get an idea how you link it once there's 2. So the main backup, the incremental backup is the number 2, and there's going to be another incremental backup, a 3, and how we're going to link it, and then so on and so forth. I won't be going through all of them, but at least one more. So let's go ahead and do, now that's completed, let's go ahead and do the app get upgrade, and let's commit to these changes. Now that's upgraded, I'm gonna assume the best and make sure that it worked. You know, I upgraded, so I'm gonna do. You know, time passes, everything looks good. And before I continue, I want to take a snapshot of my recently upgraded, updated apt-get repository. Everything. Let's check it one more time, just in case there's anything else. Apt-get update. Okay, it's updating the list. And let's do upgrade. I'm pretty sure there won't be nothing else. Nope. Looks like we're all good to go. And then I imagine there's no distribution upgrades either. There is none, it looks like. Great, excellent. So now that that is completed, let's go ahead and do just one more incremental backup. So let's do a sudo nano, and what we called it, Dre's backup log. Let's do number 3 now. I'm gonna say after updating the xorg, I think called server packages. All right, that looks good to me. 12/17/2023, and then I'm gonna put this time. Not much time has passed. It was pretty quickly, but I'm gonna go ahead and put 8:20 p.m. Okay. I'm going to do exit. Keep in mind I put 8:20. Exit, save, enter. Awesome. And then once again, let's do a cat to see if I put in that log correctly. I sure did. And then let's go ahead and do one more incremental backup. So let's use the arrow key to navigate to our backup. So to try to avoid typing all that. And I'm going to go ahead and use the left and right arrow keys to move my cursor. So I'm going to call this backup number 3, and I'm going to just slightly change the time frame. What we said, 8:20, I believe. Yeah, 8:20 according to this here. Excellent, PM. And then this link destination. So we're not linking to the first one. We're going to be linking to the last incremental backup we did. So this is going to be changing to 2. So see, so our new backup is name 3. And our link destination is going to be on the number 2. So just to be on the safe side, our number 2 was for 8:15, right? I gotta change that date or that time frame. There you go, 8:15. So I was right, 8:15. Excellent. So that's our link destination, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a space hyphen dry hyphen run. Right, just a dummy run, just to see how it looks like. All right, it's looking good. Yeah, not that much would change. Yeah, but it should be really quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and by the way, when you complete a dry run, it'll say, hey, this was a dry run. All right, I'll state it. All right, let me just do it one more time. Commit to that. So we did our number 3, and we linked it to our incremental backup number 2. So once that's completed, I'll go ahead and come back, and our next objective is to pretend like, for example, that something went wrong, like, hey, this updating the xorg packages wasn't a good idea, we broke it, something went wrong, and or it broke like another part of our system, and we're going to go ahead and try to fix that. So we're going to use a journal notes to go back in time, and of course the incremental backup to go back in time. So let's go ahead and start that process. Now that it is done, let's do an ls. And so as we can see, we have our first backup, our second backup, and our third backup. And the second backup is just an incremental backup. Our third backup is also incremental backup, a snapshot, if you will. So let's go back to our log, and I want to find out, I'm sorry, sudo cat drace log. All right, so something went wrong with the XOR packages. And okay, so everything was good on backup number 2. So I want to restore it. So how we do that? So it's relatively simple to do, and it's just a matter of kind of like flipping the directory where it points to. So let's go ahead and do that. So using here one of my reference notes is let's restore from incremental backup. So you want to do that by doing sudo rsync. Same thing, it's A and then V, and then we want to go ahead and do hyphen exclude-from. You can ignore this progress part. Progress is the same thing as V, by the way, verbose. So hyphen exclude from, and then mind you, I could have probably went back to history and find out. And I'm gonna do home pi documents, and then what was that called? Exclude list. There you go. So same thing, really. You want that until that part, and then now we want the source. So after the exclude list, we do space, and now we want the source, our backup path. So where is our backup path located at? It's located in mount / trace backup, and we want number 2, right? Number 2, hit tab, and it auto finishes. That's excellent. So now we got our backup path. Now we want to say where we want to put it to. Well, we want to put it to the root directory. So we'll do space root. That's it. It looks like no star is needed in this occasion. So just put it back to root. Now after the root directory, put space hyphen delete. Yeah, hyphen delete. So that's going to tell it, hey, anything that's on this destination and that's not in the backup, delete it. So that's the idea. We want to put it back how things were when we made backup number 2. So I'm going to do a dry run, of course, first, and just to get an idea what is going to come do. So let's see here. Yep, it's analyzing it. It's updating the fake clock. It's updating that. Okay, that should be good because excellent. So that looks good to me. Some of these packages about the libs and whatnot, I recognize from the update. So yeah, that should be and the delete looks like the archives. Okay, excellent. So it's gonna update any necessary files too as well, revert them back how they were at that time. So let's go ahead and commit to that, and by removing the dry run and hit enter. So by the time this is done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do another sudo apt-get update and apt-get upgrade, and it should offer us the exact same packages that we updated before we made that incremental backup. So essentially we're going back in time. That's what we're trying to say. So let's we might fast forward this part. Oh, there it is. Excellent. So now this might require a reboot just to make sure that it's not going to offer us those updates, but let's go ahead and find out. So sudo apt-get update. And some of these packages should look very familiar. And then let's do a sudo upgrade. There you go. Exactly the same packages as they were offered before. This Go script, the X server common, XOR core, excellent. So so just like we said, like let's pretend this X server or core messed up something about the display, something that you didn't like. We were able to restore it. So excellent, and that's how you do it. That's how you work with Rsync incremental backups. I hope this was handy for you. All right, you have an excellent time, guys, and I appreciate your listening to my video and watching. Have a great one. Bye bye.